The Courtney Show.
Well, we are very excited because in studio we have Barret, Jackman, and Kelly Chase.
Hey!
Some St. Louis Blues legends hanging out with us this morning. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having us.
Great, thank you.
I got a text about you, Barret, from Karen from Mo Fallon. She said, my favorite Barret Jackman story. Our oldest son played hockey, and one day he had practice, and for some reason his coach had to pick him up and take him to practice. Well, his coach had to make a quick stop somewhere on the way, and they went to some guy's house. Who opens the door in his underwear? It was Barret Jackman. I think it might have been your first year with the Blues. She wasn't in the car. This is from her son, I guess.
Okay, yeah. No,
I was going to say, did she get in the car from his house?
You guys are in studio because you guys are doing something really cool. The Blues alumni face off against NHL alumni and celebrity guests at the Puck Cancer charity game. I have to be very careful with that.
Correct.
Puck cancer.
On April 1st at the Centene Center. And all the money's going to go to the Jimmy V Foundation for Siteman Cancer Center. How the first question, Kelly, how you feeling? How's everything going?
I feel good. I'm very fortunate. I found out I have acute myeloid leukemia, AML, in the middle of November, and they got in remission here mid-January. So I did a trial drug for the first 2 sessions of chemo, and then I have 3 left. I had 3 left. I have 1 remaining, which I will do after the game, 2 days after the game. So I feel good. I mean, I feel like I'm very fortunate, and it's just a matter of it knocks 6 or 7 months out of your life, but it's just a process, and it'll be a story.
What kind of patient is Kelly Chase?
I would have thought I was a good patient until I took my doctor and his wife for dinner.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, hey,
But another thing.
the psychologists are not coming back to your room ever. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
What about the dog that wouldn't come back either?
Yeah, the dog. They brought
that
a
therapy dog?
Yeah. Do you want to talk to the dog? I was like, what dog? I said, the dog talk? And they said, no. I said, what the hell do I need a dog in here that doesn't talk for? What am I going to say? And I was serious. I was like, what are you guys talking about? They said, well, it's a therapy dog. I said, and the dog doesn't talk. What kind of therapies are you going to give me? And so pretty soon they're like, forget it.
We're not even going to try to talk you into it. Some people are like, oh, there's a dog. I can pet a dog. That brings me some happiness.
Meanwhile, the dog's on the other side of the curtain. His ears just drop. I'll just leave.
I apparently had stuff to do. I wasn't going to sit there and spill my beans to the dog. And I was on narcotics when the psychologist came in, so I wasn't very polite. Found that out. And they didn't love me racing the wheelchairs in the hallways when I was snapped a tendon off my knee. So I was in a wheelchair, so I was trying to get some workouts in. I hit a lady in the shin with my wheelchair.
You're going to write a book about this, right?
You sound like a lot of fun.
Twist escaping me out of the hospital.
I heard the Twist story. Didn't he take your, was it your Peloton?
Yeah, he eventually did, yeah. But it was me that needed to get out.
Yes.
And,
But you weren't going to tell anyone. You were just going to escape.
Have you ever seen the movie The Town where Ben Affleck goes in and he said, we're going to do something bad and I need your help. And we can never talk about it again and we're going to hurt some people. And Remy's on the couch and he leans up and he says, whose car are we going to take? Well, that's Twister, okay? Twister calls me. I'm having a complete meltdown. I tell him I need out of there. He's asking me to relax, be okay. And finally he goes, let me ask you a question. Are you hooked up to anything? And I said, nope. And he said, I'll be there in 25 minutes. And that's the kind of guy Twister is. So he's a 3 a.m. guy. That's what they call it. 3 a.m.
I love it.
But in any event, it worked out. I was getting discharged and got in a bunch of trouble with my family because my doc, I felt obligated to tell my wife because I was going back in for another round. And he's like, hey, you can't just leave when you want. You don't have the flu. You have leukemia. So you're going to hang in there. So So I did that. And
Get in there and talk to the dog.
yeah, so there's a few times where if you're asking me how I patient, I thought I was a pretty good patient.
They got some stories.
They apparently had their meetings in the morning and didn't think I was always so
to know
good.
how to deal with you.
He was great, though. Our Dr. Abu just was like, hey, leave them alone. Like, if Barret Jackman goes into the hospital and he sees those people, he's going to think they're really sick, which is what I did. And I felt sorry for them. And I was like, because I'm getting out. Like, that's how I feel.
You're not them.
I'm not them. That's not how I think. And so I took a Peloton in and I rode the bike and I worked out and I did the things that I felt I had to do for me. But my doctor was smart enough to realize that we're not the norm. And he would talk about that. And he's like, you can't take their numbers and you can't take what they're doing and what's happening to them and put them in the system as the norm, because that's not how they operate. They don't think like that. They think if you tell them that their shoulder surgery is 3 months, it's going to be 2 months in their mind, and they're working off a different number than you're working off of. And even though this is as serious as it is with anybody, and I feel horrible for seeing the shape some of the people were in, I never thought like that. I never thought like I was going to be on my bed and stuck to my bed. I just didn't do that. I just tried to, walk 7 to 10 miles a day and just do the things that, and sometimes it would take me all day to do 100 push-ups. But I did them.
It was the thing you could control.
Well, that's how we think. We think, and I'm not knocking other people. But other people bring in lazy boy chairs and game stations. I brought in a Peloton, so that's what he would do. That's what guys that have got, because you never get to that level of expertise where you're the minimal person in that genre, okay, in hockey, and in the millions and millions and millions that play, and you never get to that pinnacle if you're not the norm. And that's the way it works. So there was fellowship meetings in the morning with the doctors, and there was times where he's had to say, leave him alone. Just stop telling him to get off that bike, because he ain't gonna listen to you.
Yeah, this is something that you need to do for yourself.
I have a good story. I got a hold of Lance Armstrong through a friend of ours that we both know, college, and we're talking on the phone, and he said, no, I wrote it because I was bored out of my head. And Lance goes, I said, I thought you were trying to move the chemo and get your body moving. And he goes, yeah, but that's not what I did. He goes, I wrote it like a 6-year-old when I got when I first got my treatments done. And then when I knew it was time to go back in for a treatment, I knew I was getting stronger when I could ride at 100, 120 miles a day. So, and I was certainly not riding it like that. But he goes, but every day I walked by this apple fritter in the cafeteria and I looked at it, and I've never had one in my life. And he goes, I just wanted this apple fritter. And then he finally says, so finally one day I just had it. I just drilled this thing, and he said, oh my God, it was so good. I had apple fritters 10 days in a row. So I said to him, dude, I was thinking the same thing downstairs. So I went down, and about 3 days later, I took a picture of this Oreo cookie sundae, and I took a picture of it, and I sent back. Screw it. I sent back to him, right? And he sends back, attaboy.
Apple fritter is some kind of gateway Danish.
You can spiral. You spiral quickly.
We have a friend, our friend Greg Warren, who's a comedian, went to we have donut stops in the summer, and he went to one of these donut stops and got an apple fritter, and he couldn't stop. Yeah. And he's very disciplined usually.
Yeah, I think he was a wrestler in college, so same sort of mentality.
2 months he was on a bad kick.
Yeah, we had an intervention. It got very intense.
That was
grab
my lunch
fritters away from him.
That was my lunch in high school: apple fritter and a bag of ketchup chips.
Those two things don't sound delicious together.
I feel like they probably work.
I don't know, when you're a Canadian hockey player burning thousands of calories.
Yes,
a day,
you're right.
You just do whatever you can.
It is good. That's a good point. So how are we feeling? We're going to talk about this cool event. Definitely want people to get tickets because there's some all-stars that are going to be at this thing, which is really cool. How you feeling about the Blues? I mean, they've looked good for the past 4 game. What are they in a 4-game winning streak right now? Just out of the wild card. How are we feeling?
They're getting the results. It's not always the Picasso, but they're finding ways to win. You like more consistency throughout the game, but that if they're going to climb this hill, they have to be be on every period, every shift, and right now they're finding ways to win, but they still have to get better, and it's a tough task. But
15 games left though, 4 points behind, I believe.
Yeah,
the Vegas.
The runway's getting pretty short right now, but if you never know. You get into the dance, you never see, you never know hot goaltender or what's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, I think the depth of the other organizations that they're chasing is what scares I think them probably a little bit, knowing that But again, if you galvanize enough where you can get in, it makes you dangerous heading in, because you've obviously swept up some momentum to catch a team from 4 points back with 15 to go.
Yeah, I mean, I think the world would love for us to take Vegas out.
People hate Vegas because of the salary cap.
They didn't have to. They haven't understood the pain.
Yeah.
Like they were in the finals. They're an expansion team. They didn't know the years.
They've done a very good job of circumventing the cap with injuries.
Yeah.
So they hide guys on the roster till after the deadline, and then after the deadline, when these guys could come off the roster, they pull them off the roster and put them on the team. And I don't know, what are they over now? About $14 million over the cap.
About $14 million.
How can we do this?
We can. We just got to get some guys to agree to be injured for put them on the long-term IR, and then when it's time to play in the playoffs.
Really?
I think that team, though, I think once it gets to the playoffs, I think they're going to have so many, first, second line guys that they're going to be playing third, fourth lines that they're not going to know how to play, and I think it might end up kind of biting them in the butt by the end of it.
Oh, I would love to see that.
Let's see some
That's what
butt
everybody's hoping. So that's what I got in my mind right now.
Now, when you guys go to Blues games, things that happen now at Blues games, they're always trying to find fun in-game things going on. What's your favorite newer thing that they do at the Blues games? Do you like the power-up thing, or do you hate it? Do you like the
lookalikes?
The lookalikes is the best.
That's my favorite.
They've been doing that for a long time, and that's the best part of the game.
It's the best.
And then there's a bunch of stuff in there that I would. We still do stuff with them. Let's move on.
Okay, all right.
The 50-50 is the best thing they do, right?
The 50-50 is awesome. I love that as somebody that wants to win some cash. You hate it. Only in Missouri would we do a 50-50 game.
Yeah.
It happens at every charity event. They do it everywhere?
Up in Edmonton, it gets up to $500,000 for a lot of games. That's crazy.
Wow.
Sell them all week, and then that'll be one game.
Wow.
Yeah.
I would love to win $500,000.
Yeah, no kidding. Let's go to Canada.
All right, let's talk.
No, Jesus.
He hates it.
Have you met their leader? God, no.
He's a handsome fella, isn't he?
Yeah, that's great. That's how he got in. A bunch of old ladies voted for the cute guy. Instead
He's
of
so handsome.
He's such a moron. I'm telling you.
So you're not a fan?
Not a.
Just to be clear.
Anti-Canada.
I don't mind. I'm not going to talk bad about the Blues, but that guy, go ahead. You'll spend an hour in here on that.
Got a whole country after you now.
All right, so let's talk.
He's got an 11% approval rating. How the hell can the country be against me? If you have an 11% approval rating, you just resign. You just go, you know what? I stunk at this. I'm going to go do something else. He spent more money than all the rest of the prime ministers put together, and nobody can stand him. So there.
I really miss that Toronto mayor. Remember that guy?
Oh, yeah, the guy that was on all the cocaine.
Well, it was meth, but who was counting?
There's probably a little of both.
Some that was mixed in.
Well, let's talk about the game. It's the alumni celebrity game. It's the Puck Cancer charity game. It's April 5th. Tickets are on sale now, and it is at Centene. Let our audience know who's going to be playing.
We got a pretty good lineup. There's going to be a lot of guys that have, retired recently on both sides, so it should be an entertaining game. And then you got some good personalities behind the bench, and Joe Quinville, Brett Hall, Chaser's going to be out there. He's going to score a couple goals. I
Oh
think.
yeah, I'm gonna score. No,
Yeah.
I'm not playing. I'm gonna if I get my equipment on, it'll be one shift up and down. See if I can still stand up. See ya.
Did I see that Ed Belfour is going to be there?
Eddie Belfour is gonna be there. Chelios. We have 2 guys to do.
Why, what's going on? We're letting the Blackhawks guys in?
On the
here's
opposite
something-
team.
Yeah, here's something that a lot of people don't know about, but a friend of ours and a former teammate and a St. Louis Blues alumni, Darren Kimball, who played with Eddie and played with Chelly, or friends with him, he's been suffering with leukemia since a couple days before the parade.
Oh,
and never
really?
told anybody. And he told me like 4 days into my treatments. And it just kind of dumbfounded me at first. And then I was like, Kimby, like, I got 6,000 people that have reached out to me. This is hard enough with all this support you get. Like, you got to tell people. And it was not his style to talk about it. And it was not his style to share it with people, which is each person should have that opportunity to have that, not be deprived of his own confidentiality. But I do think that he has a platform.
Yes.
And he's got the ability to help other people. And I wanted him to be a part of that. And I just told him how much people care about him. Like, they do. Like, they love the guy. And he's as tough as anybody that played. And so we got him to open up a bit about it. And now he's going to be a part of it. And so like the poster childs for, like, we've got Courtnall and Nelson Emerson and guys that you haven't seen for a while coming into town that are great guys, great human beings. And then just guys that are coming in just to be around, like Garth Butcher and Brendan Shanahan's going to coach, and like just guys that come around and be around it. But Tony Granato, myself, Brian Boyle, Troy Murray, and Darren Kimball are all kind of the Make-A-Wish kids. We're kind of the guys that are the poster childs for the leukemia. And we lost Lieutenant Colonel Caruso this year, who was a big part of the Blues organization after 50 years of helping out with security and everything, and was just part of everybody's family. So for this particular event, the money through the Jimmy V Foundation and Siteman's is going to be directed completely at research. So rather than trying to figure out if your money's going to help build another parking garage at Siteman's or something like that, it's not.
It's the research, which is huge.
Huge. Like, they could
People are just waiting for something new to come out.
And the innovations in the last 10 years are massive. I mean, this trial drug I was on, it could have saved my life. For all I know, it put everything in remission. So if they've got a $10 million account, for instance, if they have they need $10 million for this one drug that they really believe in, and there's a $60,000 shortfall. They don't start the trial until that $60,000 hole is plugged. So if we could fill, 6 or 7 of them holes to get 6 or 7 new trials going, maybe it'll help one of our family members or our friends or just somebody we don't know that, So I think I try to explain that to Kimby and just say, listen, I love you, but you're going to have to understand that there's a whole bunch of people you can help with your platform, because you're not only a popular guy, you're more popular than you give yourself credit for, but you're also you also have that platform that people enjoy you and your social media, smart ass comments that you make and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I think that people are going to be so excited to see Kimball and Butcher and you. I mean, it's just, you guys are the ones that I think a lot of people want to talk to, because you're the backbone. You were the guys that they were cheering on in fights and throwdowns and enforcing the team. And that's why they're still so big, like the Tony Twists of the world. I mean, people. Yeah,
Twister will be there. He can't play anymore since his motorcycle accident, but he doesn't. He was at that hospital like Barret was every second day, and a great friend. So I'm sure people get VIP tickets too. They're going to have an opportunity to see the big guy there too. So it'll be fun seeing everybody together again.
Plus some celebrities. I know that somebody in here mentioned Dave Coulier, but I noticed DB Sweeney.
Yeah,
DB Sweet, Cutting Edge.
Cutting Edge.
One of the best hockey meets figure skating movies that's out there.
One of them.
He was
Ice Castles was the
Oh, yeah, I
original.
didn't even think
He
of
was
that. Yeah.
Robbie Benson
Of
was a hockey
course.
player.
One of the
Holly
two.
Marie Combs, figure skater.
Yeah.
They forgot about the flowers. You guys probably don't know what I'm talking about, but it was a big movie for me when I was a young girl.
Well, there are a couple of them out there, but DB's been a fun friend of ours for a long time. I actually met him, I think originally when he was Shoeless Joe Jackson and 8 Men Out. And then he was doing a movie with Sheen and Charlie Sheen and Emilio Estevez. They did I don't know, we went after a game to some garbage dump. They were a garbage collector.
Men at Work?
Men at Work.
Men at Work.
Yeah.
Oh,
Men
he
at
was
Work.
in Men at Work?
I didn't know
So we went out there. DB took us out there. They were filming, so we sat out there and filmed, and they had to film through the night because there was nobody working, and they were doing some deal. And then we had a little bit of a party because there was a bunch of people out there. And then they got in these cars that Charlie Sheen had just bought, these new Mercedes cars, and we raced around this. We made a track around the junkyard and just ripped around after a game. So like in LA, you wanted to win, you wanted a day off, and then you wanted to hang around with Hully because you never knew who some of the characters he was going to be heading out with.
That's awesome. I mean, some of these stories are so great.
Oh, I know.
I just love them all. Well, listen.
Well, listen, here's going to happen at halftime, though. Trevor, the three pipers are going to come out from Canada. They're going to pipe a song. Our guy, that Craigie Neenhouse, who's played in stadiums, unbelievable hockey player, played for the Bruins, and is a musician. He's going to be singing with the pipers. He's going to sing "Amazing Grace" at the start of the game. He's going to do "Hallelujah" at the middle of the game, and then he'll be he'll be playing all his stuff in the VIP room after the game. But he's going to sing, and then Trevor's going to sing. Trevor Rosen from Old Dominion is going to sing a song at Center Ice, and then with his equipment on. And then Dirk's is going to sing. Dirk Bentley's going to sing a song.
This
and
is going to be a fun day.
It'll be a halftime kind of show. And then we'll come back out and play what will resemble hockey. And then we'll have our VIP party till Craig's voice is sore.
This is going to be a fun event. And even if you can't get tickets to the event, it's April 4th. Or is it April 4th? April 6th.
5th.
April 5th. You can bid on some jerseys that are available, too.
Yes. That'll be open the 4th, I think, with a Q code and open and then closing on the 6th. So and that'll be through NHL Network or at NHLauctions.com.
And it's Puck Cancer. It's April 5th, Centene, and people can get tickets. Is it Ticketmaster?
Yeah.
Ticketmaster.
Now, Ticketmaster had a little hiccup, and the system went down. It said sold out. So I got 100 calls from people saying, hey, you sold out of the game already. How do I get tickets? And I'm like, what are you talking about? They went on this morning, instead of saying system down, it said sold out.
Oh.
So we're counting on Ticketmaster to maybe up their game a little bit, and hopefully they help us with a little bit of that sales too, and we sell it out because we are close.
Okay, well, get your ticket. Then don't wait.
Don't wait.
Because you guys are making the rounds today, so I have a feeling by 10 it might be sold out.
I love it.
That would be nice.
It's
you can still make donations too if you're not available to go to the game. You could go on the sites.
I think it's
make donations.
blues.givesmart.com. Is that the correct? It's for the auction.
Yeah.
That's for the auction. But they can get the information on the Blues website to just make donations as well. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for coming in. Again, it's Puck Cancer, April 5th. Dan O'Neill, you have anything to say? Nothing? He's like, no.
Dan's just, he's unbelievable. He's just the coordinator. He just herds the cats.
Yeah, I know, but there was a little Dan O'Neill time on the air early on in our show because Chris Convey and Dan he was tired of getting his emails.
He's calling him out.
So he boots Chris from the emails, and then he boots me, and I'm like, no, I still want the emails.
Yeah.
You're just doing your job, Dan.
That's right.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We do appreciate it. All right, thank you so much, Barret Jackman, Kelly Chase. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today.
Thanks
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.